Okay guys, now we're discussing the quality of the chord. In the previous lesson we talked about what makes the ingredients of the chord, the C, E, G, DFA, EGB, FAC thing. And you need to memorize that. There's only 7 possible 3-note chords as far as the letters are concerned. Now we're going to discuss the difference between a major, minor, diminished, or augmented chord. Okay, the most common here is a major chord, and I'm going to take the C chord because it's the easiest, the one everybody starts with. So here is the composition of a major chord, any major chord. Okay, I could take a C major chord, an A major, a B major, a B flat major, or whatever. If I'm going to call it a major chord, this is the formula for it. No exceptions. And music is like that. It's very mathematical, very there's rules, and there's also a lot of artistic expression and things like that to it. But as far as music theory goes, it's very understandable and very gettable. So this is the anatomy. We start with a C. Now if I count every key all the way up to the E, I'm going to get the number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that puts me on an E. Now if I count from the E to the G, I'm going to get 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a major chord. 5, 4. Start on any key on the piano, go 5, 4, and you have a major chord. Let me show you what I mean. If I take A, C, E, remember an A, C, E chord? If I start on the A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have an A major chord. And that's how you can tell by the sound too, because it's a happy sounding chord. But 5, 4, that's your major chord. Now minor is going to be flip-flopped. It's the opposite. You'll have 4 from the root note to the 3rd, and then 5 from the 3rd to the 5th. So we start on the C, and I'm going to play a C minor. I'm going to count to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now see, the E is flat. Now you say, well, why don't I call it D sharp instead of E flat? It's the same note. Because we have to stick with the ingredients of the chord. A C chord is going to have C, E, G. Don't change it to a D. It has to be C, E, G. So we'll call it E flat. So C, E flat for 4, and then go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that gives me my minor chord, okay? Any minor chord. Let's do it on a D. If I start on a D and I go 1, let's do a hard one. Let's call it, I don't know, E flat minor, okay? So let's go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's an E minor chord. E flat, G flat, B flat. Remember, we're not going to call this note F sharp. We got to call it G because an E chord has the ingredients of E, G, B, right? So that's our minor chord. Any note you start on, do that formula, 4, 5, and you have minor. So we have major, minor, diminished. Now, diminished chord is a very unstable chord. You have it a lot. It reminds me of Beethoven. You have a lot of diminished chords in Beethoven. And this is what you do. We're still going to have C, E, G, right? But our formula is 4, 4. So start on the C and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and that gives us a diminished chord. So there's our diminished chord. And remember, I can start on any note. Let's do a B diminished. And I'm picking this one for a reason, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the B natural diminished chord is the only one that is all white notes, I think. Yeah. So I like to choose that one. That one's unstable. Okay, so 4, 4 is a diminished. Now augmented is the opposite direction. It's, augmented means to make bigger. So we take a 5, 5, start on the C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go 5 from the E to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, G sharp, and we get. Okay, so that's an augmented chord there. Now I'm showing you these because these are the qualities, the 4 qualities of any 3-note chord. Okay. Major, minor, diminished, and augmented. And you'll see that in music all the time. If you see an A, U, G, or a plus sign, you'll know that means they're doing an augmented chord, and you can figure out what the augmented chord is by looking at the letters. If you see diminished, D-I-M, you'll know what that means now. And of course, major or minor.